Guys, apparently we're due for a recession. That's something folks have been talking about. Apparently a recession is coming. In fact, I'll share this week's news and poem with you because I got it done. And this one's a fun one. I kind of like this one. So let me share it with you. Here, hold on. Let me find it here. Here we go. A recession's on the way, and that's nothing new. The right says if you're underpay, the ones at fault is you. CBS and Viacom merged. Not much we can do. If big cable gets their way, our open internet's through. Boom. That's this week's news and poem. It's a dark one. All right. So here we go. Stocks losses deepen as a key recession warning surfaces. Recession signals intensified Wednesday in the United States and some of the world's leading economies as the damage from acrimonious trade wars is becoming increasingly apparent on multiple continents. The U.S. stock market tumbled to its worst day of the year on Wednesday after a reliable predictor of looming recessions flashed for the first time since the run-up to the 2008 financial crisis. The stock market is going down. Quick. Get your cufflinks and a lot of cocaine. We got work to do, they said on Wall Street as they ran back to their penthouse mansions. But anyway, what's going on with this recession? Two of the world's largest economies, Germany and the United Kingdom, appear to be contracting even as the latter forges ahead with plans to leave the European Union. Growth has also slowed in China, which is in a bitter trade feud with the U.S. Meanwhile, Argentina's stock market fell nearly 50% earlier this week after its incumbent president was defeated by a left-wing opponent. So, gee, you know how we prevent these recessions, according to Paul Ryan? We just give all these entities more money. Well, we completely deregulated everything. We took all rules away. Horrible things are still happening. Let's throw more money at it. And if need be, here in the U.S., you better believe it, we'll bail Wall Street out. But here we go towards another recession. Yet you hear all these cherry-picked statistics about how the economy's great. The economy where people are not paid living wages, where people are working multiple jobs to survive, where people are underemployed or a part of the gig economy, and they're just factored in as having steady employment. Where tons of people in this country can't afford a $500 emergency. If a family member dies and that person lives out of town, they can't afford to go to a funeral. Where there's crippling amounts of student loan debt all over the place. And if you want to get a higher education, you're going to go into debt doing it. Where bankruptcies, the leading cause of bankruptcy is healthcare bills that can't be paid. What do you know? We keep on having recessions. And also, we still have all this going on. This is what rugged, unchecked neoliberalism gets you. And by the way, this is what capitalism has always and will always do. There's this video I recommend to everybody. It's called The History of Capitalism, and it's by I think it's like School of Now or something like that. You can find it on YouTube, where they just talk about how every time capitalism has been experimented with, the same thing happens, where you get this uncontrolled or this just totally unchecked rich and poor gap that's a completely ridiculous, and you get just predatory policy, and you get people that cannot get a leg up at all. And then at the end, they're just like, can we find a way to do this ethically? Every time capitalism's been tried, the same thing happens over and over again. Can we do this? No, you can't, because that's what it's set up to do. It's a dog eat dog, I get mine, screw everybody else system. That's what it is. That's definitionally what it is. And when people like Bono from U2, who are totally clueless, go in public and say capitalism has lifted more people out of poverty than any other ism, that's a straight up lie. That's not true. You know what lifts people out of poverty? Charitable acts. Charitable acts happen in spite of capitalism, not because of it. He's basically saying, hey, we need to have really, 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 really rich people so that maybe they give poor people a little something. And they might, if it won't affect them at all and give them a tax break, they might give poor people a trickle because it's a tax break for them. They might just do that. Although a lot of them are paying zero in taxes anyway, so maybe they don't even need or want that tax break. Maybe they're just doing it out of the goodness of their heart. See, Lucy's excited about this. She's like, yeah, exactly. Who would make such a dumb statement? Bono from U2, that's who. So there you go. We're due for another recession anyway. Next time, they're telling you how great the economy is under Trump, and they point to stuff like the stock market. Guess what? We're heading into a recession anyway. And that would be happening whether Trump was in the White House or somebody else. But guess what? We're going into a recession anyway. So you can't defend this administration. Why? Because this administration is carrying on the status quo, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. All right, so we're due for another recession. Buckle in. And as the news and poem said, a recession's on the way, and that's nothing new.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our